Zara hurried through the labyrinthine corridors of the Blackwood Gallery, each step echoing her mounting anxiety. As the CEO of Blackwood Enterprises, her father had always expected her to take over the family business. But art was Zara's true passion, not boardrooms. It was why she'd enrolled in art school, much to her father's disappointment. And it was why she'd taken the leap of faith, quitting her job to freelance as an artist. Now she was seconds away from discovering whether that leap would pay off. Her mentor, Adrian Vance, stood framed in the doorway of Mr. Blackwood's office, his usually jovial face creased with concern. "Zara, thank you for coming on such short notice, but your father wants to see you immediately." Zara's heart pounded against her ribs as she entered the office. The polished wood paneling and old-world artwork spoke of generations of wealth. But tonight, the familiar surroundings felt suffocating. Her father sat behind his massive desk, his face grim in the soft lamplight. Even after all these years, she still felt the prickle of fear at his disapproving gaze. "Zara, I called you into my office because I need to make something clear." His voice was dangerously quiet. "Your mother and I have worked tirelessly to build the Blackwood name. We sacrificed everything to give you and your sister the opportunities we never had. Yet you squander your talents on frivolous pursuits, trying to sell paintings in cheap coffee shops and taking on shady clients you found on AliExpress." Zara bristled at his words. "I'm trying to make it as an artist, Dad. I'm working on commissions, building my portfolio. That is not what I envisioned for you. A black does not beg for scraps from the wealthy elite. We are above that. But I thought you understood. I told you I wanted to be an artist. We may have money, Zara, but we do not have endless patience. If you cannot show us a viable business plan, then you must find another way to support yourself, even if it means leaving Blackwood Enterprises." Her throat constricted with unshed tears. This was not the life she imagined. After her mother died when Zara was 16, she'd promised her dad she'd make him proud. She'd thrown herself into her studies, eventually graduating top of her class at the prestigious Columbia University. But somewhere along the way, the dream of making art had faded beneath the pressure of expectations. Now her only hope was the client who'd contacted her through an online marketplace. An enigmatic woman known only as Serafina had reached out, requesting a series of highly detailed portraits. Zara had accepted, desperate for the paycheck, but Serafina was late with payment, and now her father threatened to cut her off financially unless she could prove she could make something of her life. "I won't ask you again, Zara. Either bring me a viable business plan or sever ties with our family." With that, her father dismissed her. Zara fled the stifling office, tears stinging her eyes. Outside, the twilight sky mirrored her turmoil. She needed a miracle, and fast. Zara found solace in the familiar routine of creating art. At least here she could express herself without fear of judgment. Her small studio apartment might have been lacking in square footage, but it was filled with the comforting scent of oil paints and turpentine. As she worked, her thoughts drifted to her mysterious client, Serafina. Who was she? Why had she chosen Zara to paint her portraits? And why did her request seem strangely specific? Zara shook off the distraction and returned to her work. Time was ticking, and she needed to finish the portraits quickly. Little did she know that her paintings were more than just a client's whim. They were a critical part of a grander plan that would soon unfold. Meanwhile, on the far side of the galaxy, in a realm beyond human perception, an ethereal being known as Cygnus surveyed the Earth through the lens of a cosmic telescope. Unlike anything humanity had ever conceived, Cygnus was a celestial architect, tasked with maintaining the delicate balance between the physical and spirit realms. For eons, he'd watched humanity teeter on the edge of enlightenment, occasionally nudging them in the right direction. But now he sensed a shift in the cosmic currents. Something extraordinary was about to occur. Intrigued, Cygnus sent out his lieutenant Vashti to investigate further. Disguised as a human, Vashti arrived in Zara's city just as the sun dipped below the horizon. She observed Zara from afar, intrigued by the young artist's raw talent and unwavering determination. Unbeknownst to Zara, her every move was being watched by this ethereal being. But why? What was Vashti's purpose in Zara's life? and how would their paths intertwine? Zara, oblivious to the cosmic forces aligning in her favor, continued working on Serafina's portraits. Each brushstroke brought her closer to finishing the pieces, unaware that her destiny was about to change. In a surprising twist, Serafina turned out to be none other than Vashti. Disguised as a wealthy socialite, she had been observing Zara's progress and was impressed by the artist's skill and dedication. Serafina revealed her true identity to Zara, explaining that she was an emissary from a realm beyond human perception, a realm inhabited by celestial beings who had been observing humanity for centuries. Zara, initially skeptical, was soon convinced of Vashti's extraordinary tale. But why had Vashti chosen Zara for such an important mission? As Zara and Vashti delved deeper into their unusual partnership, Zara learned that she possessed a unique gift, a natural ability to channel cosmic energy through her art. This gift was what Vashti had been searching for, as it was crucial to a grander plan that could affect the very balance of their universe. Zara's paintings had the power to bridge the realms of the physical and spiritual, allowing for communication between celestial beings and humans. Vashti explained that their universe was in peril, and only Zara's gift could save it. Overwhelmed by the enormity of her responsibility, Zara grappled with the decision of how to proceed. Would she embrace her destiny and risk altering the course of the cosmos, or would she turn away and attempt to live a more ordinary life? Just when Zara was about to make a choice that would change her life forever, a surprise visitor arrived, someone she hadn't seen in years. The revelation of this visitor's identity and their connection to Zara's past sent shockwaves, forcing Zara to confront long-buried memories and secrets. This unexpected reunion triggered a chain of events that put Zara's decision to the ultimate test, forcing her to choose between duty and self-preservation. Will Zara rise to meet her extraordinary destiny, or will she succumb to the fear of the unknown? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Zara's life as she knew it would never be the same again. Before Zara could reply, a chime echoed through the penthouse. Vincent's face darkened and he excused himself, rushing into the adjacent room. Zara heard his sharp, angry words, followed by a loud crash. Startled, she moved toward the door, but a deep voice stopped her. Curiosity is admirable, little Luna, but some mysteries are best left unsolved. Turning, she found Captain Nyx of the Stellar Empire blocking her path. His iridescent eyes glittered with amusement. "What are you doing here?" "Waiting for an answer," Nyx replied, stepping aside when Zara approached the windows overlooking the city. The vast cityscape stretched below, sparkling like a fallen constellation. "Zara, will you do this?" Nyx's lips curved into a slow smile. "Marry my friend Vincent and save your world from the Void Hunters." Zara stared out at the twinkling lights, her mind a maelstrom of thoughts. How did she find herself in this position? How did Vincent, a man she'd known for only a few hours, become her only hope? She wasn't sure she understood the intricacies of intergalactic politics or the nature of the Stellarians' threat. But she knew there was no denying the connection she felt with Vincent. The memory of his touch still lingered on her skin. 3 days prior. When Zara stumbled out of the cafe, drenched from the pouring rain, the last thing she expected was to be swept off her feet by a mysterious stranger. Yet when Vincent Cross offered her shelter, she couldn't resist the allure of his stormy gray eyes and the promise of warmth in his sleek black car. What began as a shared umbrella soon transformed into something deeper. Over steaming mugs of hot chocolate, they talked for hours, uncovering a surprising amount of common ground. They discussed everything from art and music to their dreams for the future. She learned about his work in developing groundbreaking technology, and he listened intently when she spoke about her passion for marine biology. By the time the rain subsided and Zara stepped back into the night, she realized she had more than just an umbrella to remember Vincent by. There was a spark between them, an undeniable chemistry that left her breathless. Yet despite the lingering touch of his hand on hers, the lingering warmth in his goodbye kiss, there was a shadow in his eyes that she couldn't quite decipher. A part of her wanted to reach out and erase it, but he pulled away before she could. Now, as the memory of that rainy day faded into the shimmering lights of Vincent's penthouse, Zara found herself torn between excitement and fear. excitement for the adventure that lay ahead, but fear of the darkness lurking at its edges. What had compelled Vincent to seek her out? And what did this marriage of convenience mean for her? The possibilities were endless, terrifying and exhilarating all at once. With a deep breath, Zara turned back to the window. Her decision hung in the balance, mirroring the city's twinkling lights. Her life was about to change in ways she never imagined. Vincent emerged from the side room, his face etched with concern. Seeing her at the window, his shoulders relaxed, and a ghost of a smile touched his lips. "Still thinking about it, Zara? You don't have to decide right now." "Actually, I've decided," she said, turning to face him. "I accept your offer. I'll marry you." Vincent's eyes widened, then filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Zara. That means more to me than you'll ever know." Zara searched his face, wanting to see if she was reading him right. Was this marriage a genuine offer of partnership, or was there more to it that met the eye? "But why me?" she finally asked, voicing the question that had echoed in her mind since their first meeting. "Why choose me to be your wife?" Vincent hesitated, and Zara saw a flicker of pain cross his features. "It's not just because of our connection, Zara. It's because you remind me of her." Zara's heart skipped a beat. Who was she? Curiosity battled with apprehension, but Zara's determination to understand their unusual arrangement won out. "Who is she?" she pressed gently. Vincent took a step closer, and Zara could see the vulnerability that lay beneath his composed exterior. "The woman I love, the woman I lost." She was vibrant, passionate, and she, too, had eyes the color of the sea. His voice cracked slightly, betraying the emotion that still swirled within him. "Tell me about her," Zara whispered, reaching out to touch his arm. Vincent's eyes, usually so confident, flickered with pain and longing. Her name was Elena. She had a laugh that could light up a room and a spirit that wouldn't be tamed. "We met in Florence. I was captivated by her." He paused, as if reliving the memory. "She was an artist, Zara, a painter, and I bought one of her pieces. It was a small world, isn't it?" Zara mused, tracing the intricate patterns of his cufflinks. Somehow, despite the whirlwind of emotions, she felt a sense of calm settle over her. Maybe this wasn't just about saving the world. Maybe it was about saving a piece of Vincent's heart, too. "How did she die?" Zara asked softly, knowing that the answer might hold the key to understanding Vincent better. "A car accident," he replied, his voice heavy with grief. "It was sudden, senseless. I never recovered from losing her." Zara reached out, her fingers hovering over his chest. "I'm sorry, Vincent, I had no idea." Before either could speak further, a chime echoed through the room. Vincent stiffened, and Zara felt his body tense. "It's Captain Nix," he said quietly, moving away from her. "He's come to discuss the ceremony." Zara nodded, understanding dawning on her. This marriage, born out of a chance encounter and a shared moment of vulnerability, was about to become real. As Vincent composed himself, Zara knew she needed to do the same. Their journey together was just beginning. The next few days were a whirlwind. Zara found herself swept up in preparations for the upcoming ceremony. Captain Nix proved to be a meticulous planner, ensuring every detail was perfect. The penthouse became a flurry of activity as florists brought in exotic blooms and artisans set up displays of interstellar artifacts. All the while, Zara couldn't shake off the feeling that she was living someone else's life. She'd go about her day, helping to arrange flowers or trying on traditional Stellarian garments, and wonder if this was really happening. Sometimes she'd catch Vincent watching her, his expression unreadable. Though she tried to engage him in conversation, he often seemed lost in thought. Zara found herself yearning for the easy banter they'd shared over hot chocolate on their first day, wondering if the shadow in his eyes had returned. Zara struggled with pre-wedding jitters. She questioned whether she was making a terrible mistake. Despite the lavish preparations and the growing excitement, doubt gnawed at her. She missed her family and friends, her old life, hadn't built a comfortable routine for herself, and she worried about the impact this marriage would have on her own identity. Zara knew she couldn't back out now. Not only were the Stellarians depending on their union, but she had grown to care for Vincent. intrigued by the man and the vulnerable widower he'd revealed himself to be. Still, as she gazed at the star-filled sky from Vincent's penthouse, she couldn't help but wonder about the path that lay ahead. Would she be marrying a partner or a project? Could she trust Vincent with her heart? Or was this alliance nothing more than a grand illusion? Only time would tell.